Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Slappin Kpop podcast. I am Kayla, and today I am here with Sammi.
Hi.
And as a follow-up to our history of Boys Over Flowers, we are now here for the Boys Over Flower Awards. In the same sort of vein as how we did our Rich People Murder Drama Awards. We're going to be giving out different awards to different characters and other aspects of the Boys Over Flowers shows. And these are only going to be franchises, whatever this series is now. This is only going to be going to the 4 that we've actually seen. So that is the 2005 live action, Japanese live action, Hana Yori Dango, Korean Boys Over Flowers, China's Meteor Garden, and F4 Thailand, Boys Over Flowers.
It's full legal title.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're going to be giving awards in all different categories. Fun categories, general categories. There's a lot of characters in this, so we are only going through, like, some of the more main characters.
A lot of characters,
but I think it's just good to just get it off our chest. So let's begin with, like...
The big ones.
The big ones. The best male lead.
Mm-hmm.
So,
the male lead, pretty bad character overall.
Overall, he is infuriating in every
sucks.
version.
Just generally as a concept, but that's kind of who he is as a character.
Extremely toxic.
So
in the worst way.
The worst kind of toxic. Both, like, physically and emotionally, mentally abusive all the time.
Yep.
Always.
So, yeah.
So this is, like, just a lesser of evils.
Yeah, like, who is the lesser of all the evils?
Who is the least toxic out of all of these 4 toxic humans?
Alright, so let's just go through them. So, from Japan, it's, he's too violent for me.
So violent.
Gu Jung-pyo from Korea is just, I think, maybe the worst one.
I think he is actively terrible. Like, in the worst way possible.
He's
not quite as, like, physically violent as the other ones, but he's just, like, so much more
I don't know what his redeeming quality is, because, well, the other ones are more physically violent. I feel like it's more in the way that's played, it's almost in a way that they cannot control.
Yeah.
I think that Lee Min-ho is playing it as he is actively malicious.
I think Lee Min-ho is a sociopath in that iteration of the character.
Because also, like, the other ones are actually trying to be better people, where he, I think, continues to just be an asshole the whole time.
I think he has the least amount of character growth, where it's like, you definitely see turnarounds on the other ones. Japan a little bit less so than China.
I mean, the other one is just
but, like,
shorter.
Lee Min-ho is, like, even when he's being, like, you know, just full-on, like, romantic male lead, he's still, like, he sucks so much.
Mm-hmm. So, then we move on to, Dylan Wong's character in Thailand, Do Ming-shi.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just because of the show he's in. He can't be as violent. He's not in high school. He's an adult in college.
He is a grown adult. Yeah, he's violent.
Is still violent.
He's violent, not nearly as violent as the other ones. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And then you have Time from F4 Thailand.
Very violent. So violent.
Very violent.
The most,
but almost to the point where
violent.
I think he has, like,
he's
like some sort of, like, rage disorder.
Anger management problems, yeah.
Like, yeah, where it almost seems like he cannot control himself.
This is also, like, the show where we have, like, organized bullying involving the whole school. So it's just generally, as a show, it's a lot more violent.
But also, like, both where he is an active participant, because
yeah,
I feel like in the other ones, they were not necessarily as big a part of the bullying. They sort of allowed it to happen.
Right.
He actively participates and makes it worse.
He actively likes to punch people in the face. Like,
oh, yes.
Loves beating people up so much.
So I do think we're gonna have to give it to Do Ming-shi from China.
Yeah. Just as a lesser of evils here.
Yeah. He's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have our female lead.
Yep.
So here's the thing. Most of these, I will say, the one from Japan is spineless.
She doesn't do anything.
She doesn't do
she
anything.
doesn't do really much of anything.
And also just sort of, like, lets herself be, like, pulled in all these different directions. Doesn't do much.
That's also, I think, a cultural thing, because she is very much your typical female lead in a J-drama. Like,
absolutely.
That is what she is playing.
Yeah, and we've established J-drama female leads are terrible.
Horrible.
Written.
Absolutely horrible.
And then you have our Korean female lead, who I think is actively annoying.
I can't stand her. I think she's so obnoxious, like, because what she's trying to do is she's trying to be the same character as Goria from Thailand, except she is the, like, infinitely more obnoxious
annoying
version of being the, like, sort of outspoken, more loud girl, but it's like she's playing in a way that is not endearing in the slightest.
Yeah, the problem with her, and this is just an active thing, is I don't know if she fully like, she's almost seems socially inept, where I don't think she understands the situation she's in. Goria is outspoken, and she won't let anybody, like, stumble over her, and she does do some stupid things, but she understands the situation she's in.
Right, because in that version, she's watched this bullying happen at her school, and then she's at, like, the beginning of it, she's actively explaining it to, like, the new girl in school.
Yeah, like, and she doesn't participate in any way, but she knows about it, she's actively aware.
And she had been saying how she's like, I keep telling myself that I'm just gonna keep my head down until I graduate, and then I'm done with this, but then she's like, no, it's going too far.
And the Japanese girl both do.
Yeah.
They both have a scene where they're like, if I keep my head down, I can get out of this in one piece. She doesn't, I don't know how she can be so, she also doesn't realize the environment she's in, because she's in a school that, sure, she doesn't want to be there, and sure, her first impression of it was terrible, but it's also a school that can get her a lot of advantages later on, which is why the other ones are like, yeah, if I keep my head down for 2 years, I have my choice in any college in the country.
Right.
The Korean one is just like, I don't want to be here. And I'm like, then
leave. You don't have to be here. Like, just
go somewhere else. No one wants you there either.
Right.
The school didn't want to give you this scholarship either.
Right? And it's like, it's just so, she's so infuriating. Just everything
I hate her
that she
so
does.
much. And then you have, I mean, she's fine. I love her too. So,
she's just a normal person in Meteor Garden.
Yeah, in Meteor Garden. She's just a reasonable human being.
Yeah.
I love her, but she's just a reasonable human being.
Yeah.
I kind of want to give it to Goria just because I think
I like her the best.
She's very outspoken. She knows what to do, but also she's just working in the environment. And also her as that relationship progresses, those two weirdly complement each other very well.
They do. I think, their interactions, like her in Thailand with her and the male lead, I think are a lot better than what you get in Korea with her and the male lead, because they're just like so loud and obnoxious, the two of them.
Both of them are. Yeah. There's no one to balance that.
Mm-hmm.
So now we move on to the difficult category.
So there's going to be a lot of these categories where the character is exactly the same in all iterations of this show. So there is no way to determine who is better and who is worse.
We are arbitrarily determining this.
Yeah, because they're the same.
They're identical. Much like the second male lead. I also want to point out how similar all four of these people look, in that for some reason they've decided that, you know what the second male lead needs in every version is like mousier light brown hair.
Yes, the hair is very similar across all four iterations.
Absolutely.
Japan and Korea, identical hair.
Identical hair. Here's the thing. They're the same character. This character goes an interesting direction in that he begins as, like, the sweet boy that you want her to date.
Mm-hmm.
But then when she finally chooses the other one, he kind of just try to antagonize a little bit with the male lead.
He's a little bit of a bitch. He's a little bit bitchy because he's upset, yeah.
Also not because he's upset, but also because he just keeps seeing the male lead fuck up constantly.
Yeah, it's like, he's, like, already sort of acknowledged that, like, I don't have a chance here, but my god, dude, like, you're just ruining it. Yeah.
Like, you're fucking this up so bad, like, get yourself together.
Mm-hmm.
So, we really ended up, because all four of these characters are identical, we kind of went with what's, like, we sort of got rid of Japan and Korea just because the shows are bad.
Yep.
And they gave them bad things to do.
Yep.
And then we have one clear thing that had us choosing Ren from Thailand over Meteor Garden.
Mm-hmm.
And Kayla, would you like to explain what it is?
Well, so yeah, second male lead in Meteor Garden, they gave him autism as a child. For no reason. And it's essentially explained as he was autistic as a child, and then the girl that he's sort of with in the front half thing where he's like kind of dating or whatever, she was
then
like she was helping him through it, and then now as an adult he doesn't have autism. And I'm like, I don't think that's how that works at all.
It just seems so questionable. He's maybe the sweetest one out of all of these. He's so nice, so sweet, so supportive the whole time. But that plot point is wrong with you.
It was like, when I first read that, I was like, I think that's like not good.
Nope.
That's bad.
I don't love that plot point.
It's like, I guess I appreciate them trying to give him more character depth, but that was absolutely not the way to go about it at all.
Nope.
It's bad.
Not a good idea.
So that eliminated him from winning that.
Immediately. And then that just left, it's sort of by process of elimination, we're giving it to Ren.
Mm-hmm.
I like Ren. Ren's very sweet.
I like him. I think he's got the best hair of the second male leads.
He does, even though, like...
F4 Thailand generally has the best hair because they don't have stupid hair, so they just have normal hair.
The styling overall just felt like, at least of the hairstyle.
Because they do put modern. First male lead in a lot of, like, leopard...
Various
prints. Yeah, fur jacket. I love the combination of leopard fur coat with tiger stripe shirt.
Yeah, you can see that in that first picture. He's wearing that, and it's a choice. But, yeah, he's very nice. Also, I like the idea. I don't like it, but I find it absolutely insane to me that the second male lead in every version has to save her from being sexually assaulted.
Yes,
by a random group of people.
That is a plot line we keep in all four versions.
All of them.
Is the almost sexual assault.
All of them.
Yes.
And I have to imagine it's a plot point that's in the other ones too.
I'd imagine that. See, considering it's in 4 versions of it, like I'm sure that's a thing they keep in the other ones.
It's insane to me.
Yeah,
it's insane to me.
Also, I think second male lead actively a better person than the first male lead.
Oh,
always.
absolutely, absolutely,
always.
I think that he is actively, like, the correct choice.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you would be his rebound. That's fine.
Yep.
At least you won't, like, the other one's abusive.
Terrible. And it's always, it just sucks to listen to or to watch, I guess, in every 4 iterations of this, where this man is, like, clearly just a nice guy and comforting the female lead in her times of need and, like, everything. And she clearly likes him, too. And then to always see her end up for this man who is incredibly aggressive and with anger management problems and is sometimes a sociopath. To see her constantly
fall back into the cycle of abuse is heartbreaking.
Man. It's terrible.
It's truly heartbreaking. And then the problem is he just ends up alone, which upsets me.
He does just end up alone, because third male lead gets the best friend, so he just ends up alone.
I mean, fourth male lead is also alone.
Fourth male lead is always alone,
he didn't have anybody.
So it's,
he didn't have anybody to begin with.
Right.
So then we go to third male lead. So this storyline with third male lead gets varying levels of... He's the only other F4 member that gets a separate storyline.
He does.
In that his storyline almost has nothing to do with the male lead, because he's just pursuing the best friend.
He's just doing his own thing off in the corner.
Yeah, he's pursuing the best friend. He's doing it, he's fine, but he's always supporting them.
Yes.
Here's the thing. We eliminated Japan because they just butchered that story
it's just not there in Japan.
Nothing happened. So we mainly did focus on how well was his separate story executed. That's sort of how we gave the award for this one.
Yep.
So Japan's out. Korea, it was executed. And I do think it has, of the ones where they don't end up clearly together.
Yeah.
It is the one that has the best implication, because he does, like, show back up from Sweden, and the kids are like, oh, is that your boyfriend? You told us your boyfriend's in Sweden. So I think it does imply it the best that they're getting together.
Actually together, yeah.
Yeah. And that's fine. Mm-hmm. And then in F4 Thailand, Kevin, love him. He's great.
Yep.
But I feel like they sort of forget about that storyline for, like, the last 3 episodes of that show.
It does. So you see a lot of it, but then it just kind of, it happens, and then once
Stops.
the big climactic on top
Scene
of the
on the
building
roof.
scene happens, it, like, we forget about it.
They forget about them.
Yeah.
She's not even in the finale. Like, they go
Yeah.
to that prom at the end and she's not there. Why is she not there?
I know.
She should just be there as his date.
We just forgot about it, apparently. It's like,
I know,
really, they just wrapped up that storyline as like, well, I guess that's it.
It upsets me greatly that she's just not in the last episode. So we ended up giving it to Meteor Garden's Shi Min Yan, because he's the only one that actually ends up with a girl.
He does.
Because, again, he also it's 49 episodes, he gets the most time.
He does.
Because if you're gonna cut time from anything, cut it from third male lead.
Cut it from third male lead, yeah.
That's where you're gonna cut shit.
Right.
And he ends up with the girl.
Yes.
I also think he gets a lot of character development with the girl, too.
He does.
He changes
he does.
a lot as a person.
He does.
So I think that's good for him.
It is. I like him a lot.
Yep. And now we get to our easiest award we
Yes,
had. This
yes,
is fourth
yes.
male lead. Fourth male lead, very much known to not do anything.
Yep.
As you
Japan,
can tell from,
I don't see him once, I don't think.
I don't think he's...
I don't think
he may
he's
have
there.
like 5 or 6 lines total.
I don't think he's there in Japan.
The Korean fourth male lead is so boring.
So boring. Just absolutely nothing to do there.
Nope. In Meteor Garden, they do attempt to give him a storyline.
He does get a side story. It doesn't last very long. It's essentially he's
it's
pursuing.
really boring.
He's pursuing this girl who, because so in Meteor Garden she enters this cooking competition.
Yep.
Which she ends up winning, and he ends up pursuing
the female lead.
Lead wins. He ends up
is in a
pursuing
cooking
this
contest.
girl who gets second place in it, and she is stuck between him and this older man she had a one-night stand with on a camping trip.
Yep.
And then realizes that, because she's also from a wealthy family and everything, is kind of contemplating if she wants to continue that lifestyle by, like, pursuing him, which is what that would be, or if she wants to pursue this other weird architect man who, like, travels more and is, like, a more interesting
and who is,
life.
Like, does she want to be, like in her gilded cage or free as a bird or whatever?
And she then does not choose him, so then he just pouts around.
Sad.
And is sad
Honestly,
for the rest of the show.
Trust me when I tell you, Kayla's description a lot more interesting than the scenes of him.
It's a very weird side plot
because
that
happens.
happens.
The other thing of, like, you kind of know, because I didn't think they were gonna, like, devolve so far from the plot that they were just gonna introduce an entirely separate character,
right?
That I'm like, they can't really utilize in the main plot.
Because that cooking competition, I think, is what happens in place of the weird pageant in the Japan
it makes more sense because she is studying nutrition in college, so it kind of makes sense to do the cooking competition. But yeah, it is what's in place of, as where most series just cut the beauty pageant,
right?
Because it's unnecessary. Well, no, I think
Meteor Garden had so much time, so they were just
you might as well put it. I think Korea did the auction. I think that was
yes. There's an auction. I think
there's an auction, and then I think Thailand just cut it.
Yeah,
because it's
had not in Thailand at all.
Yeah, because they didn't have the time. Meteor Garden has all of the time in the world.
So much time. So they're like, we can have that, and we can give fourth male lead a side story.
Why not? But we gave it to MJ.
We did.
There's no contest that it's
There's
MJ.
no contest, and there's a very good reason why.
We call this character, he's essentially your emotional support F4 member. He's the only emotional support F4 member because he's the only one holding that friend group together.
Yes. I also like how he is clearly in the mafia in the Thailand one.
Oh, clearly
in the mafia.
They make it very clear. So there's a random rich man's funeral in F4 Thailand. Don't ask.
I don't. They go to a funeral.
And I guess it's just so that you see, like, the world of the F4, and you see the F4, all of their parents. You see MJ's dad. MJ's dad is the most mob man I've ever seen.
He's a mob boss, that man.
He is a mob boss. It's amazing, and I love it. But also, MJ is just such a sweet character.
He is.
He's so good. Yeah, he's the winner by far.
He's the winner by far. He also gets a very fun, side plot. That
he does. His entire side plot is told through.
It exists in a completely separate universe from
I have no idea
F4 Thailand.
when is it supposed to exist timeline-wise. I think it takes place in Pocket Universe.
I think
in
it's
KFC commercials.
KFC commercials that happen at the end of like every episode from like what, episode 6?
9 to like
9.
the end. It's like 9 to 13.
But he's in this like
at
the end of every episode, he's in this little like 5-minute long like reoccurring storyline, but it's just an ad for KFC.
Yes.
It's so
like
funny.
He's playing basketball and falling in love with a girl.
Yes.
While also just being
But KFC is just
also
also just having
a bucket of KFC.
Yes.
Constantly.
And honestly, I mean, if they had to give him something to do.
I mean, honestly, it continues the Thai tradition of sometimes the best parts of the show and very compelling parts of the show are told through end of the show commercials.
Yes. I do also want to just give a mention, because we're talking about the KFC commercials, how much product placement is happening throughout the Thai version.
So, Kayla, you don't watch that many Thai series.
I don't.
But I tell you that Thai shows have this habit, and so for people that don't know, Thai shows on YouTube, most of them are on YouTube. A lot of them are on YouTube. This show's on YouTube. They are divided into 4 or 5 parts, entirely based on where in their ad breaks would be. So, like, you'd get the one part, and then where that ends would be an ad break. When you come back, it will still show you an ad right at the beginning of, like, the direct sponsor. And I think that's just how it airs on television, just so that their sponsors still get, they still get money.
It's like I turned on part 1 of episode 1 and was immediately, like, advertised, like, 7 different items. And I was like, oh, yes, all the product
in very quick succession.
Immediately, yeah.
Very quick succession. It's like, bam, bam, bam. Fabric softener, deodorant, chips.
Yes, all of the things.
All of the above.
At once.
And a car.
Yep.
I think this one did try to advertise you a car.
I can't remember, but there's just a lot of it.
And they will change periodically as the show goes on sometimes. You'll get a new one randomly. It's great. So then we have the best friend.
Yes.
So this character is basically identical the whole time. I think that there's various, like, I feel like in the Japanese one, we barely saw her.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't get introduced
think that's
for,
because
like, 5 episodes.
they split up the thing into 2 different seasons, and we didn't really see a lot of the second season, which is probably where that is.
I watched the second season. Since they're already together, like, she still also kind of gets shafted, to be honest. It's the show where you see the least of her. I'll give it that. Then, in the Korean one, she's just very nice. I like her.
Yeah.
She's kind of boring in Meteor Garden.
She's very boring.
She's just
also kind of weird.
She is. Also cuts her hair into one of the worst haircuts.
Yeah.
The other thing with her is I feel like she gets a little shafted because in Meteor Garden she's allowed to have other friends.
Yeah, she is.
So a lot of the very interesting stuff they kind of give to other people.
Because there are other people in her friend group other than her, so she's not as important to be just the best friend. She's more so there to be third male lead's love interest.
Yeah, they kind of like put her more in that role. They give her more to do in that way. But that means that she's just essentially supporting this man and he's trying to get over some, like, past trauma as opposed to being her own character.
Yeah, her storyline there is much more related to him than it is, like, being a friend to the female lead.
Yeah. And then you have Kying from Thailand, who I think you get a lot of for how short that show is.
You see a lot of her, especially given it's only 16 episodes. Like, I feel like you see, like, a significantly larger percentage of her.
Because I always feel like that show, for some reason, that flower shop becomes a place where just, like, the F4 just hangs out sometimes.
Right, and I also love that man who runs the flower shop.
Oh, he's wonderful. Fun. I love him.
Yeah.
He's great. But, like, I feel like you constantly see her. She gets a lot more interaction with other members of the F4. Because I feel like these other ones, she mainly only interacts with third male lead, her love interest. And sometimes, because they did that double date with the male lead.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Briefly,
the terrible
I feel like in this one, she at least gets to speak with all of them.
Right.
I'm gonna give it to her, to Thailand, just because I think she gets to speak to others.
Yes.
I also think that, like, she's just very, she knows what she wants.
She does.
She gets what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
I like her a lot. Also, she's very pretty. I think she's the prettiest of all of them.
I think she is.
So now we go to, what I called Crazy Rich Mom.
Yep. Because it is Crazy Rich Mom.
Crazy Rich Mom. So I want to point out, if you're not looking at the PowerPoint that we have just explaining these awards,
one of these
the mom
things is not
younger.
like the other.
No, the mom gets younger as we go on in time.
Yes.
Also, the mom gets weirdly both more and less effectual depending on where you are. The mom in Japan almost does nothing.
Yeah.
She kind of is there, she tries, they tell her, no, we're not gonna do it, and then it kind of just keeps moving on.
Yeah, and it's like, cool, whatever.
Cool, whatever. The mom in Korea tries, but, like, it's fine. It's not that much.
She's just being, like,
she's just
rich
an
mom.
average, she's like, an average rich mother.
Yeah. And she's
I've
like,
seen
yeah,
worse rich
sure.
mothers.
It's like, there's worse out there.
Yeah. Look at our Rich People Murder show. There's a bunch of worse mothers in that.
Worse rich moms in that one, for sure.
The Meteor Garden mother is the most effectual mother.
Yes. She's
Dong
definitely
Min-sung
the
is
most effective in
so
trying
effective.
to keep them apart.
Yes. Because she actively does keep them apart by literal continents.
Yes.
She ships them off to London.
She does. She also, has, like, literal bodyguards, like, everywhere.
Yeah. She's very effectual.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing with the Thai mom, Rosalind? She's very young.
So young.
So young.
Significantly younger than the other moms.
Mm-hmm. And they give her well, she is effectual in a way. They also give her such a redemption arc.
Mm-hmm.
But also a redemption arc that I don't know if I buy.
I don't think I'd like it.
Just because I feel like it flip-flops back and forth with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, she'll get slightly better. Like, they'll try to do a redemption arc, and then she fucks them over again.
Yeah.
And then even in the last episode, because for some reason, I will say F4 Thailand does do the amnesia plot better than most of the other series, except Meteor Garden.
Meteor Garden, where the amnesia plot is not there, which is
the amnesia plot's a joke.
They play off
Literally
the amnesia as a joke, and that was my favorite part of that. And I was like, I'm so happy
amazing.
we're just not doing that.
I was very happy we didn't do it, but in terms of keeping it in, they do it, and they do not add that random weird love interest.
Mm-hmm.
They just make it that the mom, like, isolates him and is like, oh shit, now he's back to being the terrible son that will do what I want him to do. Great. That makes more sense. But it's still so stupid that we have an amnesia plot in the last episode.
Yep.
So I think I want to give it to Meteor Garden Mom.
Yes. I
Just
do
'cause
also
she's
want to say
effective.
that Thai mom is, like, I feel like the definition of, like, gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. That is what Thai mom is doing.
She is yes, she is all of the above.
All of those things. And more so than the other moms.
Yeah. You also see her very early on. Like, she is a threat from the beginning. From, like, episode 1, I think, or 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's very early on. So I did a slide for the female lead's family, because she always has a family, and they're varying levels of annoying.
They are.
So the Japanese family is so fucking boring.
And I
also feel like they disappear like, the dad has to move, I feel like, very quickly.
I feel like that happens sooner than it does in the other versions.
Because, like, if again, I love that maybe people haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, she has to live alone with her brother for a while,
mm-hmm.
and I feel like we don't see her parents for most of that show.
Yeah.
The family in Korea, I think, is annoying.
Especially a lot of things about the Korean version are annoying. The family, not an exception.
Here's the thing. The family is always, I feel like, the source of the comic relief
mm-hmm.
for all of these shows. And the problem is, the comic relief in the Korean Boys Over Flowers is bad comedy.
Yep.
And then we can't Meteor Garden.
She does not have a sibling because of China's one-child policy.
Yep, even though the male lead does have a brother. Does have a sister, sorry. The male lead does have a sister.
But they're rich.
So it's fine.
Right.
But yeah, no, she just has parents. And I feel like losing the brother The family very supportive, very nice.
But
Just
I feel
parents.
like we lose a lot on family dynamics not having the brother there.
No, it's an entire as only children, we can tell you that they use a lot from not having a sibling.
Yes.
In terms of fun family dynamics.
Mm-hmm. The parents are very nice, though. I do like them.
They're very sweet.
Yeah.
They're very supportive, which is unlike a bunch of these other families.
Yes, that's very true.
Extremely supportive, and also will, like, seem to actively care about their child.
Yeah.
Unlike some of these other ones.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you have the family in F4 Thailand, which I think is just funny.
They're
fun. Actively great.
They're very fun.
Also, I love that they get more interaction with the male lead.
Yeah.
Because he's constantly at their house.
He is just always
But he
there.
also, I feel like in that one, he just kind of wants a family. And I like this
cute.
whole dynamic. So
they also made the brother, I think, older.
They do.
In that one
the
as
brother
well.
seems like he's like maybe a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
He seems older. Like, he doesn't seem like he's, like, 8.
Right. Like
Like
he's
the other
very much
brother.
a child in the other ones, and he seems like we're more in, like, teenager realm for the brother.
He's like between 12 and 14, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I would give it to the Thailand family. The Thailand family is great. I feel like the Thailand wins a lot of individual awards.
do.
Like, they made the characters very good in that show.
They really do.
If the plot was a little, I wish if that show had a little more time, I think they could have.
If it was maybe like 20 to 25 episodes instead of 16, it's probably
the plot
really
would have been able to be fleshed out better. Now we do the fiance. So
second male lead's fiance
that they're trying to. Oh wait, no, yeah, second male lead's.
I guess they're not really ever fiancés, but he was dating her.
He was sometimes was dating her, sometimes he was trying to date her, and then she moves to France to become a lawyer and abandons her family fortune.
It's a lot. A lot goes on there.
But also the female lead, like, admired her because she's also, like, famous somehow and on billboards because she's a model.
Yes,
I don't
guess
know
she
how
models.
You're a lawyer model. Sure. Lawyer model. I don't know. But here's the thing, we entirely did this because these are identical characters. Look at them, they look identical.
They look the same, like more so than any other actresses or actors playing these. These could be the same person.
They could be.
They
could be the same person, yes. So here's the thing, in Japan, I feel like we barely see her. That show's 9 episodes, she's gone in an episode and a half.
Yep.
In Korea, she's real boring.
Yep.
In Meteor Garden, she actually has a decent amount to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I gave it to Thailand because she hits people.
She does, and she throws a bunch of girls into a pool, and I like that a lot.
Because it's the scene where she has to...
It's like her birthday party or whatever that thing is, that party that she has.
Yeah. She has like a birthday party / going away party, I don't know.
Yeah.
And
I think that's when she announces she's going away.
To France, yeah. And it's also where they like get female lead there, but she's like dressed not correctly, so she's made fun of by a bunch of like the rich girls.
Mm-hmm.
So our lovely second male lead's girlfriend throws a bunch of champagne on them and throws them in a pool for being mean. Yes. And I approve.
I love that. Love that for her.
Love that for her. And then she gives Goria a makeover, and I highly approve of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yay for her.
Hooray.
Yay for violence. We rewarded violence.
We rewarded violence, yeah. In this case.
As we should. So then we go to the male lead's fiance
Arranged fiance.
Arranged fiance.
This is the girl that the evil, crazy rich mom tells the male lead he's going to marry because of a business relationship type of a thing.
Yep. Yeah. So there's 2 of them in Hana Yori Dango, Japan. I went with the second one that actually gets a storyline, not the one that just goes to like the teen Japan beauty contest and then leaves immediately.
Right.
So she's boring. I think the one in Korea is fine. The thing I like about... And also, Lita in F4 Thailand is also really fun.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, Meteor Garden, she's really fun and also just becomes a member of their friend group for a while.
She does, because in all iterations of this show, she befriends the female lead, and that's, like, very cute, very fun. But then in Meteor Garden, she sticks around in the friend group, and then is just, like, there and helping with stuff all the time, and it's very cute.
Yeah. The thing with it also is I feel like just generally in Meteor Garden, they form, like, this large network of friend group.
Yes.
Because not only does she is also a character I didn't put on here, but the female student that like ends up blackmailing / releasing all like the trying to slut shame the female lead.
Yes.
That person also becomes a member of the friend group in Meteor Garden because they were already friends. So that's fun.
Yes. So
then you have
there's like, the male friend who is just not present in any other version of this other than Meteor Garden.
Yeah. And then you also just get the random white guys.
There's so many.
They're also in the friend group.
There's so many.
They meet a bunch of people. They meet like this French guy, and he like flirts with Goria for not Goria, the female lead in Meteor Garden for a little bit.
And that's the guy that they try to blackmail her about with. Right? That's that guy.
That guy that she's blackmailed with.
Yeah.
Is also just in their network of friends and helps her out when she's in London.
But that's also what I found very fun is that this man who's supposedly French is now just in London. I thought that was funny.
I don't know why this French man's in China, much less London.
But it's like his friends in London are also like kind of like pickpocketers, which is also very funny.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
But like they also show up in the last episode. Like they're friends. They make friends. They network so many much friends in that show.
International
that they have international friends. Yeah. It's great. Honestly, I think that's really a fun way to do it because you get so many people in this show that like come and then immediately leave.
Yes.
And this is just a fun way to keep them around, is that every once in a while if you need help, randomly they'll appear.
Yep. He's like, oh, we're in London? Cool, here's this random white man you met, like, I don't know, months or years ago.
French.
He's here.
Who cares?
French man.
Who cares? So, now we move on to the more specific awards of Best Main Couple.
Yes.
And now I want to point out that I just picked photos I thought were cute. I can tell you the two top couples from Hana Yori Dango and Boiler Flowers look the way they make me feel.
Yes.
Sad
and uninterested.
Sad and uninterested, and also he's holding her, but she doesn't seem to want to be held by him.
It's like they don't seem like they're happy.
No, and I don't think they are because they're bad couples.
They're very bad couples
together. The two F4 Thailand and Meteor Garden, actively good couples. I like them a lot.
And look how cute and happy they look.
Look how fun and happy they look. We gave it to Meteor Garden just because I think that they have a fun dynamic.
Their dynamic, I think, is more fun,
Yeah, they're great.
That's probably because we see more of them, and we got more development out of it, but they are just cute and very fun.
I like them.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get to the second couple. Mind you, yes, that is the only photo I could find for the second couple in Japan.
Because they don't get a storyline. They don't do anything.
They're just literally like squatting on the sidewalk by the road.
And it's like they're squatting like away from the camera, so you don't even see their faces.
Look, I don't know what you want from me. This is what I got.
That's what we got for that one. So clearly, it's not winning.
No, clearly not them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say, I don't mind the storyline from Korea, just because I thought that they actually seem like they're gonna get together, and I think it was, honestly, I think that they're gonna last longer than the actual leads.
Yeah.
Like, I believe these two could be together for a while.
Oh, yes. They're
but,
very
like,
cute.
But also, I don't think, like, that's not a high bar, because
it's not, because the main couple sucks so much.
Oh, absolutely.
I also do want to say that I don't enjoy the second couple storyline. Just generally. It's like the thing where they go on the double date and then there's like the shitty boyfriend or whatever is like,
well, that's more male lead.
That's male lead a little bit, I guess, but it has the friend in there.
I think because they set the seeds for this terrible boyfriend that just keeps coming back, because the friend is in there, and then she like helps her get revenge with the shitty ex-boyfriend. But then this whole like a weird thing where he like there's this girl from his childhood or whatever that is like
he really
left
liked,
him.
but he didn't want to admit that he liked her, but she obviously liked him, and so he rejected him, and he has all this freaking romantic trauma from it, and then the female lead is like jealous, but then has to like take him up to see this billboard on this top of a building that she meant for him to see on this one specific day.
He actively hurts her for a little bit, where he like rejects her constantly, but like keeps like leading her on a little bit.
It's just it's so weird. I don't like it.
And also the fact that in the Korean one they add in the fact that his dad seduced that girl.
Yeah, that was not good.
That was so questionable.
That was really bad.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and then in like Meteor Garden, the girl like this friend cuts her hair to look like the girl from his past that he has trauma
about. And also,
it's
a terrible haircut.
Yeah, and it's
terrible haircut.
It's like the storyline there is like so weird. It's like it's been essentially the same every time they've done it, but it's just so weird.
They tweaks it.
Yeah,
which is kind of why I want to, because Meteor Garden is the only time they actually end up together and don't like imply it. And they do forget about that best friend in like the last 2 episodes of F4 Thailand.
Yeah.
I think that just with the way they established the characters in F4 Thailand, those two seem to be a little more stable.
And like we have said, it also feels like we see so much more of the two of them, given also how short that show is in comparison to the other ones. I feel like they got a lot
that I feel like I see more of them than I have in other versions.
Right.
I think it's just because those two have a lot of chemistry, and they do give them a lot of little moments. I feel like they involve her in a lot of more of the show.
Yeah.
They involve her in a lot more of the plots where like she doesn't necessarily need to be there.
But she's there.
But she is there, and it's good that she is there.
Mm-hmm.
I like her.
I do.
Also, her boyfriend storyline is, I think, handled quite well in that one.
Yeah, I think it's less annoying than it is in
less
some
annoying.
of the other versions, yeah.
Yeah. Also, I just like them together. I want a full show of those two. Those two should be in a show together.
Yep.
They're very cute.
Yep.
So, yeah, F4 Thailand wins.
Hooray. Cute.
Now we have the best F4. What F4 look like they're friends? Here's the thing. 2 of these aren't friends.
Not at all.
Japan, I don't think they speak.
They don't speak. But it's also so short we barely see them together.
Yeah. But also, like, I feel like second male lead is just never there.
No. He's gone. Always.
And just doesn't hang out with them.
Uh-huh.
And also, male lead is so aggressive and throws things that the rest of them are annoyed by him.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. And
then you have Korea, where, how do I put this? They seem like coworkers.
They do.
I don't know how a bunch of high schoolers seem like coworkers.
But it's like,
but they seem like
it does seem much more obvious in Korea that friendship is a business. It's like a business relationship more so than a friendship. That we are all
it's like we are all extremely wealthy,
and I need these friends for my social networking connections.
Exactly. I feel like they might have been friends as children.
Yeah.
And then just grown apart as people.
And then, like, they grow up and then Lee Min-ho becomes a sociopath, and it's like...
An absolute sociopath.
Yep.
Absolutely insane. So...
F4 Thailand is, like... All of them are... So the other 3 that are not the male lead are the most rational of the other F4s, which means that they get annoyed with the male lead so often.
I feel like those are very good friends, and they're friends, but they know that the male lead needs help.
Yes.
So they just get annoyed with him all the time, which makes sense, as you should.
As he is aggressive,
as he is, like,
all the
beating
time.
a person. And then you just have F4 in Meteor Garden, where they are good friends, and also he's less aggressive, so they can sometimes get annoyed with him, but they also tease him a lot.
Yes.
Because of it.
Yes.
And I think that that's just a pure friendship.
And it's like him and second male lead have a lot of beef for a while, but like that happens in all iterations of this show, and I feel like their relationship, I think, is fleshed out a little bit more. Their friendship. So it's like, I think it's better. Yeah. And it all, like, once they figure their shit out, I think it's a cuter friendship.
Yeah, I like them.
Mm-hmm.
So we give it to Meteor Garden.
Yeah.
Best setting. What school? Yes, I do know that I put a picture of the school from the movie. I couldn't find a picture of the school from the 2005 show. Leave me alone. You think I can?
It's
This
fine.
is hard.
It's fine. Close enough.
Again, like I said, that school looks like how the 90s viewed the future.
It does. It really does.
It's like beige, but also vaguely kind of looks like a spaceship.
Kind of like a spaceship,
vibes.
yeah.
It looks like how the 90s would do like a school in 2053.
Yes, yes.
If that makes any sense to anybody.
It's like it's like the past is like it's
The
like
past
what the
version
past
of
thought
the
the future would look like.
Exactly. So here's the thing. I think we gotta give it to the university because it's college.
Yeah, one of these takes place as a college and the other three take place at a high school, and the college setting is just better for this show.
Yeah, the college setting is better. Also, that college, because the thing is, I think that Boys Over Flowers also had to shoot at a college, but they had to try to make a college look like a high school.
Like a high school, yeah.
Which makes it look weird and doesn't make any sense in, like, building-wise.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, this beautiful college that they're allowed to shoot like a beautiful college.
Right.
Instead of having to, like, force it to be
have a
something
college
it's not.
and make it look like a high school. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can see it out because it's a bougie high school. Like, it probably looks closer to a college, but still, it's not like.
But also, you still gotta try to make it look like a high school.
Yes.
So yeah, no, the college works. Also, I didn't realize, I don't even know if this is true, but I didn't realize that you got lockers in Chinese colleges.
I didn't know that
They
either.
just have lockers. That's weird. I don't know if that's true or not, but they do in this school.
Sure.
Now we get to the worst hair.
Yes. Worst hair time.
So this might be a little controversial.
Uh-huh.
Because here's the thing. We got Time already out of there because
he's got normal hair.
They give him worse clothes. They gave him the worst clothes of all of them.
He wins worse clothes, but the best hair.
But the hair they kept normal, because I think if you gave him terrible hair and terrible clothes, that's too far.
That's too much. We gotta do one or the other.
Yeah, you gotta pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. What I will give both Boys Over Flowers and Meteor Garden is that they are trying.
Like, there's a specific look they are going for there.
Is it I mean, I don't fully know what the
like,
Meteor
Lee
Garden
Min-ho's
look
got
is.
the perm happening, and then it's like, we're trying to make him look a little bit aggressive in Meteor Garden.
It's giving porcupine,
It's
but I don't know if it's succeeding.
Yes.
But it is trying.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with Hana Yori Dango Japan is that I don't think any attempt was made. I just don't think they brushed that actor's hair.
Like they gave him a bad perm, and then he just rolled out of bed in the morning the day after.
It's like they didn't even finish the perm because there's not even
they
like
did half
actual
perm.
perm.
They did half a perm, and then he rolled out of bed the next day.
Yeah, they threw the perm liquid on his hair.
Yeah.
Realized, oh shit, he's got to be on set in 20 minutes. Washed it off.
Yes.
Because they couldn't let it actually set and curl his hair. And then, he just didn't, he never brushed it again.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. We gave it to, most people would give it to Lee Min-ho. I'm gonna give it to Japan just because it looks,
no effort.
made by
it's like we didn't
else.
make a clear decision on what the hair should be, and it just looks generally, disheveled and bad.
We didn't make a clear decision, so we just decided to do nothing.
Yes. It would have been better if you just had, regular hair, in Thailand.
Yeah, it would be better if you just brushed it back.
Yes.
Just brush it. Put a comb through it.
Yep. Because I do think, based off the pictures in the manga, he is supposed to have, a weird perm.
He is supposed to have a weird perm.
But it's
but I also think...
it's like they decided...
I can also see why they didn't give Dylan Wong a weird perm in Meteor Garden.
In the year
because
2018.
Who in 2018 has a weird perm?
Yeah, and then in the year 2022, we're not about to give him a perm either, so...
God, no. Well, no, a lot of K-pop idols have perms, but they're just loose waves as perms. They're not, full,
They're not full, the Lee Min-ho perm.
They're not the Lee Min-ho perm or, your grandma's perm.
Yeah.
I think that they just didn't commit enough.
They didn't. They had to pick a decision, and they did not.
So I think we're gonna give it to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So here's best OST. Okay, so Japan's OST, ignorable. The OST for F4 Thailand is fine. Mm-hmm. I think that the songs are a little boring. they do attempt to make these actors sing in F4 Thailand, but their singing is pretty good. I think their singing is probably better than the Meteor Garden singing, but I will say, the Meteor Garden OST is a bop.
Yep.
Not even just because of the
River,
absolute...
that is just
not
there
even just
in the
because
OST.
of the fact that River is on that soundtrack.
Yep.
The official soundtrack of that includes River.
Yes. Yep. That is a choice that was made.
Choice was made. However, I regularly will go out with one of my friends, and you know what's blasting in that car? The OST to Boys Over Flowers.
Yep.
Because honestly, Stand By Me?
It's a banger.
It's a fucking
OST
banger
is a banger.
Making a Lover? Banger.
Mm-hmm. And it's like Shiny
Yearning
is on
Heart.
that OST, aren't they?
Hmm?
Isn't Shiny on the Boys Over Flowers
Yeah,
OST?
Stand By Me is by Shiny. Yeah. Yearning Heart. Iconic. That OST is so good. It has no right to be that good.
It's so good.
I would put it up there as one of the best K-drama OSTs.
It's like as bad as that show is, the OST slaps. Like,
that's the thing is, I try to watch these shows at like double speed, but the OST's so good, you kind of just gotta stop and appreciate it.
mm-hmm.
Even though I think the OST for Meteor Garden is so long.
It's very long.
It's got a lot on there. Again, the actual quality of each of the male leads singing, questionable.
That's probably what drags it down, is that they went for that route.
We'll
whereas,
say,
like,
the male...
K-pop groups did the OST for Boys Over Flowers.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to hear Lee Min-ho sing.
No,
we'll say, the actors of F4 Thailand, Bright is an actual singer, so that's fine. The male lead is an actual singer in that show, but probably a better overall singers. Mm-hmm. But do I like the OST for Meteor Garden better? Yes.
Yeah.
It's just iconic. I just sing that shit sometimes. I have a playlist of that of a bunch of OSTs.
Mm-hmm.
So much Boys Over Flowers, so much Meteor Garden, and I just will blast it in my car sometimes.
Oh, you want to know what is also on the Meteor Garden official OST is Say Something by A Great Big World. That's also on the official OST for Meteor Garden. I was thinking about it. I was like, there's another very popular song that is just on that OST that I'm forgetting about. So I looked it up and I'm like, yes. That is always OST. Around the...
Oh, also, everyone, any one of us / stupid mistakes is also on that.
So, it's so funny. It's funny. It's just
a bunch of English songs at the end of that OST,
yep.
and they're used amazingly in the actual show.
They really are.
They are used to perfect effect in that show.
They are.
It's weird, because I don't know if I should put those songs on as OSTs.
Right, because I feel like it's cheating.
Do they go on my OST playlist or not?
Probably. Maybe. I feel like it's cheating to call any of those songs an OST.
To call River by Bishop Briggs an OST? They're also just such random songs.
They are, and I'm just like, I don't know what compelled them to use those specifically.
Look, if you're not gonna watch any of these shows, just listen to the OSTs. They're phenomenal.
They are. They really are.
So now we have, before we move on and show the slide, we have I wanted to call this overall best boy.
Yes.
Which originally was meant to be, who is the best F4 boy? And the thing was, a lot of those F4 boys are questionable.
They either are not present or they're actively bad or boring, most of them.
To be honest, it's like none of the male lead would be there just because he
sucks.
Yeah,
I don't think any of second male lead would be there.
They're kind of boring.
Yeah.
Third male lead, maybe Kevin.
Maybe. And then it's like fourth male lead who is like not there, and then there's KFC commercial man, and then there's the Meteor Garden one. Yeah.
So we actually decided to give it to Chen Kwang-hee, who is the best friend from Meteor Garden.
He's the male friend from Meteor Garden. This character is not in any other version of the show other than
I don't
Meteor
know if
Garden.
he's I believe he's based on a character in the manga.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which character specifically, but he is a character that has never really been adapted.
But I adore him.
Honestly, he's phenomenal.
I love him and his character so much.
Because in that show, he almost becomes like the benched member of the F4.
Like substitute F4.
Needs to go, yeah. If an F4 member needs to go, like, do something else, or, like, goes to France, or gets moved to London,
he becomes honorary F4.
Yep, he takes their place. He is the member of the F4 there. He also comes from, like, a richer family. Like, he's not F4 rich, but he's kind of well off.
Right.
He's, like, such a good friend to the female lead.
Right.
Like, he's great.
He ends up with the girl who, like, blackmails the female lead.
But he's great.
He's great. He's so fun.
He's very funny. While he is a member of the F4, he always just also kind of tries to call them out on their bullshit.
It is fun how he just kind of, like, forced himself into that friendship, where I think he challenges them to play bridge.
And then, like, it kind of worked, but he never plays bridge, because they end up going on that weird, he ends up bonding with the male lead by fishing with him.
Yes, they go fishing, I think squid fishing or something.
Squid fishing in the middle of the night, only the two of them, it's their bonding moment. They become bros at that point.
They become friends, now he's honorarily just around the F4 always.
I mean, they abuse him a lot, but it's very funny.
It's so fun. I think he adds so much to that show that the other shows just don't have. Yeah.
He adds great levity to it, because I think that show kind of needs some comic relief, and it's better to add a random other character than to make one of these characters your comic relief.
Yes.
Don't make the female lead the comic relief.
No.
Just make someone up, and he's amazing, and I love him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, by 2018, comedy really just started being better in dramas.
Yep.
So then we go with, who has the richest family?
Mm-hmm.
We did this for our rich people murder shows.
We did pick a richest family.
Who do you think is the richest family in all these families? Extremely wealthy.
So rich.
Here's the thing. I feel like Thailand family and Japan family are mainly national, i.e. each of their own respective countries rich.
Yes. And then I feel like similarly for Korea, but I've also, like, kind of always had the fact in the back of my head that whenever you see chaebols in, like, Korean dramas, they're actually much less wealthy than you think they are.
Yeah.
So that's always a thing that I think about.
That's always a thing, but I think specifically this chaebol family, like, they do a full, like, 4-minute montage in the beginning just explaining all the industries that his family owns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think they own, essentially, I feel like they used an H Mart for this, where it's an SH Mart, because it's the Shinhwa company.
Right.
I think they just used the sign for an actual H Mart. It looks like an H Mart.
Yeah.
But, like, the family is extremely,
like, this,
specifically
they are wealthier,
that family. They're wealthier than your average chaebol
and they're definitely wealthier than both the Thailand and the Japan families, I think.
But I think
China.
That just with the China
that
money. Show was able to be so international is the other thing, is that show had such a budget that it was able to just do a lot of just international stuff anyway.
Yeah.
That it just at least gives the impression that the family is so much
like, they
richer.
also have a house in London, and then they have this, wherever they went on that beach trip, they've got, like,
and also
that was out
mansion.
of the country, yeah,
and also that ski trip in that mansion. Like,
yes,
it's great. It's a lot.
It's like they have so many different things happening there.
Yeah, you just see a lot more of their wealth, I think, in Meteor Garden. And I don't know, I don't have their tax returns. I can't tell you exactly how rich these families are, so we're gonna go with Meteor Garden.
Yep.
And now we just have, what's the best show? Yeah. Of all 4 of these shows. I mean, the only 2 answers are, it depends on what you're looking for. Right. If you want an actual adaptation of Boys Over Flowers, go with Thailand. Yeah. If you want the best show, period, Meteor Garden. Yep. By far.
Those 2 are so much better than the other 2. Like, not even close to, not even a contest between those 2 and the other 2.
It's insane how much better those 2, it's leaps and bounds better.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel like that maybe has a little bit to do with it. Those are the 2 most modern iterations of it.
they were able to look at all of the mistakes made.
Yeah. Meteor Garden is also so much longer, so it had much more time to, like, flesh out characters and have, like, more fun side plots and characters, which I think helped it a lot, too.
Yeah. Alright, and now last we have Best Ripoff. There's been a lot of quote-unquote ripoffs of Boys Over Flowers, i.e., like, The Heirs is, I think, a straight ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
Also starring Lee Min-ho, somehow.
Also, Lee Min-ho playing the same character.
Same character, just less stupid.
Yes.
Just more stupid, less aggressive.
Yes, yes.
As the intelligence went down, so did the aggression.
Mm-hmm.
You also have shit like, I don't know, Cinderella and the Four Knights.
That's like kind
that
of a
show
Boys
has
Over
no
Flowers
reason
ripoff,
to,
yeah.
But also, that show has no reason to be called Cinderella and the Four Knights. That's specifically for an F4 reference.
Because one of them is the bodyguard,
one of them is
the bodyguard doesn't do a lot.
Yeah, the butler doesn't...
Yeah.
The butler is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
The butler's just not an option for her. You also have stuff like... I mean, even a show like Enchanté, which is a BL drama, actively makes a reference to the F4 with the four guys that are pursuing him.
Yeah.
It's insane how...
I also feel like, you know, Ouran High School Host Club, weirdly very similar vibes.
Yeah, but I can't say anything about that because I have no idea when the manga for that was published.
Yeah.
So, our answer is actually very fun,
because
we went with Extraordinary You.
We did.
The Rohun drama from like 2 years ago.
Because Boys Over Flowers is literally happening in the background.
In the background.
Of Extraordinary You.
This Extraordinary You is literally a satire on Boys Over Flowers.
It is.
And that's honestly amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because, our main female lead in that wakes up that she's in a manhwa, which essentially just is Boys Over Flowers. I think there's only 3,
They do have an F3 instead of an F4, probably for, like, legal reasons.
For copyright reasons?
Yeah.
You can't just literally have that going
an
on,
F4,
but it's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun.
And it's like the male lead of the show, like the manga happening, still plays the violin.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It really is.
Amazing.
It's got the same rich boy, poor girl plot line of Boys Over
Where
Flowers.
also and also I think, like, she trips in front of him still again.
Yeah, it's like,
you just get
it's so clearly
so many tropes.
Boys Over Flowers that's happening in the background, and I think it's, like, the best way to, like, throw all of the references towards that, with the show not at all being about Boys Over Flowers.
Yeah. Also, I think that it's the best way to do, because by this point, Boys Over Flowers, I mean, you have to give it credit for what it's worth. It did start a lot of drama tropes, or was one of the first iteration of those drama tropes, and popular iteration of those drama tropes. By this point, we've seen them a million times.
We have.
Maybe not all in one spot, but, like, someone will do the aggressive male lead. Someone will do, like, the sweet, the best friend story. Someone will do all of these different things.
Yes.
Everyone's gonna take bits and pieces, because you can't do this show with all those tropes again. Unless you call it Boys Over Flowers, obviously, because then you get a little more, leeway there.
Yep.
But still, you can't. That just becomes such a absolute, it's unwatchable by this point. We've seen it 1,000 times.
It's
What's
like,
interesting
this is, like,
about
the
it
only
anymore?
way you can do Boys Over Flowers again. It's like, where it's like you're making references to it, but clearly it's not Boys Over Flowers, so.
Yeah, you're almost making fun of it, but even then, you have to be creative with it.
Right.
Like, you can, like, if this was just a straight, like, she finds out she's the lead of Boys Over Flowers.
That's boring. Don't like that.
That's boring. She's a side
character
in a
who's
manhwa?
probably gonna die in the Boys Over Flowers.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I feel like a straight satire where it's just Boys Over Flowers is gonna get boring very quickly.
Yeah.
But, like, figuring out that you're, like, a side character, and also you get to make fun of other K-drama things.
Yeah, you get to make fun of all of the gross, like, tropey things that are happening in the Boys Over Flowers plot happening in the background. Like, that's great. I love that.
It's phenomenal. Great. Better.
So much better. But that's our last category for the Boys Over Flowers Awards.
I mean, what was it worth it, Kayla? Because we just finished we finished everything.
I finished watching F4 Thailand literally yesterday.
Yeah. We literally spent, like, the last honestly, I only started this, like, a past month. I already seen, but I had to rewatch everything. At least do a quick rewatch of everything.
Yep.
And we're here. And we're done. And we've watched, in the last, like, 2 months.
Yep.
4
so
versions
much
of the show.
Boys Over Flowers.
Was it worth it?
But,
I don't think
probably
so,
not.
to be honest.
I honestly probably not. There's a lot of better things I could have been doing with my time, but this is what I did.
So much.
Yep.
I could have done so much with my time.
But here we are watching 4 versions of the same show for content.
Yep.
This is what we do
also,
here.
This is what we do here. Also, I just like because I just started looking at different things in K-drama posters. The amount of posters that are just 4 men and a girl,
too many,
I think is entirely
that's all because of Boys Over Flowers.
I want to end with that note of just like, there's so many posters that are just 4 men and a girl, even if those 4 men aren't all in the same, like, it's usually a love triangle between 3 and those are just 2 side characters,
right?
But dear
we
God,
do 4 because
that
F4.
But isn't that just what Boys Over Flowers is?
Yeah, exactly. Just because they're an F4 doesn't mean they're all equally important.
They're not even equal in the real F4.
Nah.
They never will.
Alright, so this has been mini Boys Over Flowers month.
Yay.
Which means it's 2 weeks long, but that's how it is now.
That's how we have to do this. I can't
do
even
4 episodes on Boys Over Flowers.
Oh,
this is enough. We are available on all major podcasting platforms like Apple Podcast and Spotify. We also have a YouTube channel where we post all of our episodes. If you want to see our fun PowerPoint for this, that'll be there with the episode upload, and we also will post fun clip videos occasionally there as well. And with that, we will see you in the next episode. Bye!
Bye!